break bottom right here. I always say I am pretty record happy in the first game just because I'm trying to figure out the guy and like I want to make sure that people could see some like if I saw this game 3, would I record it? Considering I saw this game 1, no. But I wanted to show the ability because I don't know if he overextended into his breaks. I don't know how he runs his breaks, but I did want to show that for a guy who is, what did I say before, 6'5", 210, 215, he actually breaks pretty well. Considering all of that, is able to send this route down pretty quick, come off, drive phase, shoulder down. It's not the most explosive break I've ever seen, but again, like people will say, oh, well, he's not good at route running, all this stuff. You got to consider he's 6'5". He's not going to run routes like Elijah Moore who's 5'10", and he can run this even better too. Like he doesn't overextend into it. That's good. He has some bend. He's not straight legged into it. He can even get over it more, but still stop. I want to see him commit to that second stop a little bit more. First stop, cool. Second stop, you see it starts to lean out of the break a little bit. Now we can snap out after that third step, pivot, get back to the ball. So even with him not as low as he can possibly be, and him leading out of his second stop step a little bit, the break is still pretty good. Again, get record happy initially. Oh, it always happens. I just did Stingley, and I was going to do 2 games. No, I was going to do 3 games of his freshman year, 2 games of his last year. So I'm saying, okay, what was the hype about? What he did? This is a what have you done for me lately type of league. So I was like, okay, let me look at 3 games of the freshman year, the only 2 games that I had available of junior year, and like through the first game, I think it was against Georgia, I recorded like 18 plays. I'm like, no, I can't watch Oklahoma from 2019 too. I watched Georgia and Clemson, I think. Moving on. London to win. Okay. See here. He is top of screen. He's in motion right now. Let's watch. Again, for a guy who's 6'5", and this isn't the most tight break I've ever seen. This is not the most explosive break I've ever seen, but it's still a good route, and he still creates separation. Seen some zone coverage. Okay, when he starts off the snap, cornerback's outside, stem the corner outside as he closes ground. As he closes ground to the corner. Well, actually, he takes a little bit more even outside than the corner's leverage, which is okay if he's going to sit inside. You don't want him to stay on top of the route. So if you even have to go a little bit outside of him and being directly squared up to open him up so you can cross his face, that works too. There's not one way to always do things. Stems outside, corner opens up. Commitment to the break. You can see him not whip his out that early. Get low into it. Arm over, punches through. Looks back to the ball, maintains the speed while he's looking back to the ball. Hands catch, quick tuck. Like, good play, Crazy? No, but good stem, good patience, good spacing when he breaks, good commitment to the break step. Good job tracking the ball. Drop. All right. There are some drops, some focus drops, but overall he has good hands. But he's one of those players. All of them are. Even like Burks probably has like the strongest hands, but there are sometimes he catches the ball awkwardly. But even Wilson has some drops too of these big 3 guys. So bottom of the screen. Yeah, bottom of the screen. So why? Let's see the why first. Why not looking the ball in? You can see his helmet starts to turn a little bit to the left, so he's looking for his lane before he catches the ball. Focus. catch the ball first. The hands are relatively tight. A little bit of an extension to it, but it's one of the most generic principles of catching a football. Look it in, So moving on, or not moving on. The route is actually, let's see the route. Again, not an easy route to run. In terms of him having to run a slant versus a corner who is playing with heavy inside leverage, plays like catch, heavy inside leverage, it's not the easiest spot to get because you can't, if it's a timing route, he's not really going to be able to go over the top. So he has to kind of force his way underneath right here, and he uses a rocker. Stems vertical. Oh shit, he's sitting inside. Fake break outside, inside. Again, get low into it. Swipes. Looks like he swipes the inside arm. Slant. Not. If I'm going to show you, hey, he has to run a slant versus this leverage. It's not easy. So the fact that he could adjust because initially, 4 yards off outside, and a good job by the corner, just changing up his technique really late into the rep. Now he has to adjust on the fly like this, and to use a rocker, just to get him to hesitate a little bit to the outside and lean. Because that little lean that he does, a little sit back he does, guess what? Now the hands are unstrong. When the hands are unstrong, it's going to be a lot easier for him to swipe the hands, to work through those hands. Whereas if he didn't throw that rocker, the 1-2 right there, he would be more up, over his knees, over his toes, and he has a lot more strength in that punch. Whereas with that rocker, now he's sitting back when he's punching. Work through it. Again, good job. Focus drop. The process is good. Result, not so good. Well, the process in terms of the route and getting there. The result is obviously him dropping a ball, which he shouldn't drop. You gotta, that's a focus thing. Can it be changed? Sure. Do some guys just have drop problems? It happens, Jerry Jeudy had that coming out of Bama. Brandon Marshall had that, Braylon Edwards had that for the Jets I don't know if it was as big with the Jets. I know the Browns, when he was at the Browns initially, that was one of his problems. Bottom of the screen, shuffle release hands again. And and we'll go through it a lot. I know the people on YouTube, you usually get the first maybe 15 minutes of the show. We're going to go through a lot of his releases, and he has and again, you guys don't get the strengths and weaknesses. I never want to tell somebody to pay for something, but I hope you would at least just watch the reviews. The fact that there's 18 guys coming out and you guys only get a sixth of the review, a fifth of the review. I get people have money to pay for it. Some people don't have money to pay for it, but if you do, it's like a cup of coffee a week. Not even, and we really go over a lot of these guys, again, strengths and weaknesses, and bring it up 8 to 10 plays isn't really enough to me. You need to get that 30, 40 plays, then even more when they get drafted. But he has a good release package. He's a bunch of releases from, short strides and foot fires and shuffles and squirt releases. He has a good amount, and he breaks well. He's pretty quick out of his breaks for a guy, again, 6'5". You can't judge a guy in his breaks 6'5" versus 5'10". Relative to his size, he's quick. The release is good. Corner, slightly outside leverage. He wants to win inside, so he's gonna one step and then shuffle. It's not even a one step. It's a split release. Split into a shuffle. Split, shuffle release. While he's squared up, he's threading 2 ways, but he gets the corner because he's shuffling outside to open up his hips. But with that shuffle release, he has that left foot forward. He's going to be able to easily explode off the instep of the up foot and work over the foot that's back. So it's a really good release right here for an inside breaking route because of this foot's up. The foot that's up is easier to break inside or out. Inside off of that foot. Outside would not be an easy break off of this foot. Nonetheless, good release. Shuffle and shuffle can sometimes look like dead leg. We'll talk about dead leg a little bit too, but that's usually one step, and then you maintain that stance for multiple steps after. But when you actually remove it, and it again can almost look the same, but Dead legs are usually a little bit more shallow, not as wide as a shuffle and shuffle out. You're actually moving horizontally, which will go. I think we have a dead leg release in this show too. I forget. Again, this is already like 4 prospects ago, which I'm recording it now, but I watch the film and record it quicker than I actually do the shows, because the shows it's just, I need more allotted time where I could just watch film for 20 minutes at a time. So shuffle release. Looks like he wipes up or kind of like chops up on that hand or no, just like, wipes it. The difference between wipe, swipe, chop, punch through are all really close. But I call this a wipe. So he wipes up, open. He's open. He's open on the slant. He's open, but again, he's not targeted initially. So now what does he say? And he's good at sitting down in zones. He's good at scramble drill. He sees his quarterback in trouble. Okay, well, I'm not going to keep running into the teeth of the defense in the middle, where there's obviously going to be more congestion. He sees his quarterback starting to move out to his left and look his way. Where does he know is open? The sideline. Moves to the sideline, catch, turn on field. Good route, good adjustment on a scramble drill. Show his quarterback his eyes. Gives that quarterback the confidence that they're on the same page. It's a big thing on scramble drill. Show the quarterback your eyes. London blind hand on break stride. The hell do I mean with that one? Let's see on the bottom. No, attack blind spot. Okay. So, and he's average speed. It's not bad. It's not great. Again, 6'5". You're not always gonna be the fastest guy in the world. But for his size, I would still say it's average-ish. Now what does he do? Release vertical. Okay. Corner opens, shuffles, bails, whatever you want to call it. What do you want to do? Obviously, depending on the route, but here, when you're running a back breaking route, attack that blind spot. Why? Because then obviously he doesn't have that sensory in terms of vision to see your break. Can't see your break. Obviously, he's going to break later. It's pretty simple, right? So attack the blind spot, which he initially pushes vertical first, sees him bailing. Okay, I don't want to attack there too. He doesn't want to, like, the whole blind spot thing. Again, depending on the route versus coverage, there's always scenarios where I don't want to say 100%. But here, he doesn't want to attack it too early, because then he might, the corner might be able to squeeze him a little bit, feel it out, stack him. So take it vertical, attack it a couple of steps before your break. Now, the thing I like about the break too is just subtle hands. Push off. Again, it's so subtle that it's not going to get called by the refs, but that makes the littlest bit of a difference, which means a lot. So sit it down. Could he have ran a better break, or could his feet have been better here? Yes, they could have been. I want to see more forcefulness with that first stop. You see, he's not completely over the toes like he is, but you want to knee yourself in the face pretty much. So I want to see him over that a little bit more, which is going to be harder. Again, high-waisted, tall player, not going to be as easy, but he could get a little bit lower right here. So I want to see more forcefulness with that stop step. You see how he's leaning out again? You want to see push by 1-2, pivot, drive out of it. But he's doing stop, lean, which again, when you're not committed to that step right there, it's not going to be as forceful. You want to still see him over that toe. And then with that third step, that pivot step, turn it inside as much as you can. And then you have your fourth and final step off the instep, you break back. So leaning a little bit out of the break. Now, the second thing, and that's why you see a lot of that dead time right there. You get that dead time. And he's obviously finding the ball too, but there's a dead time. I want to see him attack this ball a little bit more aggressively, to be honest. It's nothing crazy, but with that dead time and with that corner working back, the corner's hand's almost there. He could have came inside a little bit more and attacked the ball on this backbreaking route. So notes, there's good and bad. Mostly good in terms of attacking the blind spot, using that hand right there. The catch, a little bit contested. You want to just see him, again, clean up the footwork. Also, come back to the ball just a little bit more. Being nitpicky there, but that hand almost getting there in college from that DB is probably a deflection in the NFL. London drop, okay. Bottom of the screen. Again, you see some of the altered route pacing right there. Coming off the ball.